Hello, my name is Taylor Daly, and today I'm doing my Defending What You Believe project on creationism and creationists. So that is what I am, and that's what I'm going to be defending today. So starting off with some archaeology, just information, some research, and some evidence. First of all, I'm going to creation.com, and I have information that says that one of these celestic giant says, I've excavated for 30 years and never found the Bible to be an error. So pretty much what he's saying here is that for 30 years, he's never been able to, he's excavated for this long and has never found any evidence that can prove errors to be in the Bible. And this is coming from creation.com. So some more archaeologist information as well as some major evidence has to be within the Dead Sea Scrolls of Isaiah. So the information on the Dead Sea Scrolls have been found in many verses throughout Isaiah, and also give information on the Azrain palaces and just that error. So Isaiah gives a number of historical facts regarding the Azrains that remarkably confirm the accuracy of Isaiah, as well as knowing the information and the times to show the relevance in archaeology and the Bible. And these Dead Sea Scrolls were found along the Dead Sea shores. So we have lots of information that we can back up to show archaeology there. So we can now move on to geology. All right. So one of the most largest and important pieces of geology we can see is the Grand Canyon. So some information we can show here is that we're told in Psalms 104:8, the mountains rose and the valley sank down to the places that you appointed for them. And this is talking about the flood waters and the flood within the Bible. So it's showing that when the mountains rose and the valley sank down, causing the water to drain off the continents back into the new ocean basins because there was so much water within the earth. The reason today we have land again is the water had to drain some way. So also we can see great evidence within archaeology and geology that show within the Grand Canyon for more information and more evidence to back up Christianity, as well as biblical information and how that applies to all different kinds of sciences. So next we can take a look at historical evidence. So my favorite place for historical evidence is the Bible because it's the best history book ever created. And we can see even from the archaeologist saying that he's never found the Bible to be wrong. And as a creationist, I believe that it never will be. So a important piece of evidence is definitely coming from the fact that we have evidence that Jesus himself believed in creationism and all of that. So we have evidence in a certain scripture, which is Mark 10, and the verse we're going to be using is verse 6. So this verse and this whole passage, Mark 10, 1 through 12, is all about divorce, and it's talking with Jesus. And so this is a conversation that's been happening with Jesus and also some of the Pharisees who were asking questions about divorce. So we're not focusing on divorce today, but we can look at just a simple piece of the puzzle. And in verse 6 it says, "But at the beginning of creation, God made them man and female." So we can see here that even though this isn't really talking about creation, we can see that just in a normal conversation to back up, Jesus does believe in creation of God, and we can see some evidence there that he is willing to use that as his own evidence for things he's talking about. And another really big piece for me is also, of course, we can go to the true beginning, which is Genesis 1. So Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Moving to verse 2. "Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the water of the depth, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters." So as we go further into it, we can see the different days that at the beginning, and then we can see him making the sky, the ground, the vegetation, the stars, the moon, the living creatures, the plants, animals, as well as humans. And we can see his day by day of the creation. So for me, this is the hugest area of history because it is the best history book for a creationalist to use. And finally, we have our biology information. And where I'm going for this is we found in our also answers in Genesis. So in recent years, there have been many findings of biological materials in ancient rock layers, and one of the most important, what we're talking about today, that has got evolutionists scrambling is a fossilized Tyrannosaurus rex femur with flexible connective tissue, branching blood vessels, and intact cells. According to evolutionists, these dinosaur tissues should be more than 65 million years old. But laboratory studies show there is no known way, and most likely not possible way, for a biological material to last more than thousands of years. So if we know that these blood vessels and tissues are not millions of years old, we are to believe that they could last a few thousand years old, which is around the time of the global flood of Noah's time, which is about 4,300 years ago. So this is just more evidence shown with this T-Rex to show that how could blood vessels live this long to survive 65 years? It just shows more evidence for God and creationism that we can find every day in different ways. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.